DK Metcalf didn't just make a mistake on Sunday in Detroit. He handed the NFL one of its most uncomfortable moments of the season. Midway through the Steelers' road game against the Lions, CBS cameras caught Metcalf in a shocking sideline confrontation with a Detroit fan wearing a blue wig in the front row. What started as a verbal exchange escalated rapidly. Metcalf appeared to grab the fan and then throw a punch, an act that instantly stunned viewers and ignited outrage across social media. There is no spinning this, no competitive fire explanation, no heat-of-the-moment excuse that fits. A player swinging at a fan during live game action is about as indefensible as it gets in professional sports. The most astonishing part is that Metcalf avoided in-game punishment entirely. Officials never saw the incident, and because no flag was thrown, the league's New York command center had no authority to intervene in real time. Metcalf returned to the field, played the rest of the half, and finished the game with minimal statistical impact. The scoreboard may not reflect it, but the damage was already done. This incident couldn't come at a worse time for Pittsburgh. The Steelers are 8-6, clinging to a razor-thin lead in the AFC North over the Ravens. Their margin for error is non-existent. Losing their one wide receiver, especially one making $150 million, even for a game or two, could be the difference between making the playoffs and watching from home. And that's before we even get to the larger issue. DK Metcalf hasn't lived up to his contract in 2025. Acquired from Seattle in March for a second-round pick and additional draft capital, Metcalf was immediately handed a 5-year, $150 million extension. He was supposed to be the offensive centerpiece, the matchup nightmare who tilted coverages and elevated the entire unit. Instead, he's been good, not dominant. His numbers are solid but unspectacular. And now, instead of talking about production, route trees, or chemistry with his quarterback, the conversation is about discipline, optics, and accountability. NFL fans and analysts didn't hesitate to unload on him. Social media reactions ranged from disbelief to outright condemnation. Former players and media figures echoed the same sentiment. This is a line you do not cross. Fans can be obnoxious, even hostile, but once a player becomes physical with a spectator, the league has no choice but to respond forcefully. That response is coming. While the NFL couldn't eject Metcalf during the game, the incident will almost certainly be reviewed by the league office. Video evidence is clear. Intent is difficult to argue away. The only real question now is severity of punishment. A fine feels insufficient. The league has worked for decades to maintain a strict barrier between players and fans. Suspending Metcalf would send a clear message that this behavior is unacceptable under any circumstances. If the NFL wants to protect its image and deter future incidents, it has to act decisively. There's also a reputational cost that no suspension can erase. Metcalf has always walked a fine line between intensity and recklessness. He plays angry, he embraces confrontation. That edge has helped make him elite, but moments like this suggest he hasn't fully learned where the boundary is. Fair or not, this clip will follow him for the rest of his career. And for the Steelers, this becomes a front office nightmare. They didn't just invest money in Metcalf. They invested identity, leadership, reliability. A player making $30 million per year is expected to be a stabilizing force, not a liability who puts the team at risk with one impulsive decision. Even if the league limits discipline to a fine, Pittsburgh still has to manage the fallout internally. Locker room trust matters. Coaches will demand accountability. Veterans will notice whether standards apply equally to stars and role players. All of this stems from a moment that lasted only seconds, one swing. One lapse in judgment, one clip that overshadowed an entire game. The NFL is a league where opportunity is fragile and scrutiny is relentless. DK Metcalf knows that better than most. On Sunday, he forgot it, and now he'll pay the price, one way or another.